be the change you wanna see.
Seaside is a caring, connected, and expanding spiritual community, sharing practical tools for richer living.
Just your heart to show you how you can be the change if you wanna.
We join in partnership with God to influence our lives for good, whether for improved health, finances, relationships, or simple happiness and joy.
Plant a flower, watch it grow. You will reap what you sow. You gotta be the change.
Those are your guys from Seaside rocking the house. Bob Mathis leading the pack with his saxophone. Hindi there on the keyboards. The wonderful Busendorfer, and that's Harley there on the bass. Nice job. And Jerry Reba pounding those skins. We love you, guy. That's it. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Woo, what a joy it is to be with you on this fabulous day. There is excitement in the air. Can you feel it? Woo, yeah, there's a graduation going on in this house. And so we put spirit first always, and we got a wonderful practitioner holding the light today. This is Patty Christensen, carrying out that flame, which is symbolic of that light that is just a blaze and a glory of God here in the sanctuary. She sits, and we have a practitioner sitting in our prayer center every Sunday, just being the divine conduit for that spirit to flow into expression. And so she is filling this house with love because today is a momentous day. It is a significant day. It is a day that is truly auspicious in some graduates' lives. And I'll tell you what, anybody who's walking the aisle today here for graduation, want to stand so we can love you up and say congratulations. Woo! These are your future practitioners and ministers that are walking here today. So very exciting. We got senators from around Southern California that are going to be here. We have our district, I don't know, what are we calling you these days? I like president, but I think we moved it to field leader. Yeah, can I still call you Prez? I like that better too. This is Reverend Dr. Sharon Hudson. She oversees the field of all the Centers for Spiritual Living, which basically means she has to run around the country every week being somewhere different. And being today is a significant day in the history of our movement. We are being uplifted by what's taking place here. She has chosen to share herself with us, so we're grateful you're here. I'm telling you, it's a good day. There's excitement in the house. There's love in the house. There's dynamic energy in the house. There are ministers in the house. There are practitioners in the house. And we are in this house together. And so I want to just invite you to stand. Say hello to that person that is next to you. Share a little bit of love.
Seaside, please remain standing for the congregational song. All right, Seaside, good morning. We know this one. You ready? God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Joy, joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Come on, Bob. Give it up for Bob and our Seaside band. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So give thanks. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. That's right, Seaside.
And Rebecca's back in the house. We have missed you. Woo!
So glad to be home.
Hey,
I
you
miss
were-
Seaside.
You were emailing me at 3:30 this morning. Where were you?
I was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, of all places, actually.
Doing what? What were you doing?
I was playing with Miss Sheila E. again this past weekend.
How fun, how fun.
Yeah.
And then you were where?
I was in Copenhagen, Denmark. Did the Dave Koz cruise and went to St. Petersburg, Russia, and went to Helsinki, Finland, and to Tallinn, Estonia, and Stockholm, Sweden.
Wow! And back on the stage at Seaside. Woo! But hey, we have missed you. Welcome home.
I miss you all too.
You
Thank
know,
you
it's
so much.
you know, when you have people climbing a mountain, not everyone gets to hit the peak, but everyone who's part of it just feels that they accomplished that. And you going these places just takes all of our love, and we're just excited by what it is you're doing in your life and making a difference in the world.
Thank you so
Grateful
much.
to have our artistic director back home, Rebecca Jade. All right. And, hey, to take us a little bit deeper this morning, we have Dave Kennedy. Come on up.
Good morning, Seaside. Please join me in a moment of stillness. Be still and know that God is in this very room. That spirit, that love, that beauty that I call God. That spirit is flowing in, around, and through me right now, bringing me peace and happiness. And that energy, that stillness, that God is flowing in, around, and through you right now. You can feel the energy within. It brings you peace and harmony and beauty. And I know that the words of Dr. Christian are filled from God. His words will bring you even more peace and happiness and beauty. And I am thankful that it is so.
We love
Jade, wonderful to have you back home and in the house. Hindi, thank you for being on the piano. That's beautiful. And Dave Kennedy for your prayers. Greatly appreciate that for sure. And flowers today, speaking of thank yous, School of Spiritual Leadership. Dr. Kathy Hearn's giving it in honor of all her graduating seniors from the School of Ministry. So 11 graduating ministers today. Lots of love from Dr. Kathy Hearn. Excuse me. And also, since I'm doing a little extra talking, Rick, I understand Jay Leno's garage show Thursday night, 9 o'clock, CNBC. It's like you're being the featured guy in your fancy cars. And we love it when you drive them up here. Those are truly amazing. But everybody, Thursday night, 9 o'clock, Rick Dorr on Jay Leno's garage show, CNBC. Check them out. It'll be good. And Trevor just loved that little orange car you created back in the 60s, that die cast with your picture on the box. That was the first thing he did is he ripped it out of the box. And I know you saved it for 20 years, but he's playing with it. So anyway, hey, with this joy, with this love and acknowledgments, we have one of our own back in the house right from Australia. Thought it would be good to hear some stories from down under. Please join me, one of our own, the Reverend Robin Holt. Welcome home.
It's with a very, very full heart and such gratitude that Rick, my husband, and I are back. So we can, it was always our intention to come back for graduation. Our first years, a lot of the people graduating today were people who I went through school with, because I only graduated a year ago. So I said to Christian I would say this, which is that if you are here for I just make sure I do my proper platform assisting. If you are here for the first time, welcome. And we hope you are. There are some people here today for the first time, that you're here for, all the online practitioners and all the people here for graduation. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And I look out here and I just know this is my mental equivalent for Sydney CSL. So I just know that I'm just going to take that in. So if you are new here and you would like to know something more about Seaside and you would like a welcome package, they're available on the welcome table at the back of the family room after service. And inside there you'll find some discount coupons for the bookstore, for coffee, and a CD of Christian, of course, and so something to make you feel like you are part of this new and wonderful family. And please know that Rick and I miss you all greatly. There have been some days when I felt very alone. But you know what's really great is with Zoom and with life, you just reach out and you're only just a phone call away from everyone. So I've certainly done a lot of that. So we wanted to show you a little bit. So we had a launch in April, and I think the launch would be better called a learning experience. So what we found out was we really weren't yet ready to sort of go out and do the regular thing. So I had put so much time and energy into the launch, I forgot that after that had to come everything else. So we took a step back, the board and I, and we said it's time to kind of breathe and settle back into Sydney. We had to find a new venue. So here's our new home. This is the Kirribilli Centre. And Kirribilli, as you can imagine, is a beautiful Aboriginal word. So our meeting room is up on that top where that balcony is. It's a beautiful old convict-built sandstone heritage-listed building in Sydney. And this is the back of it. They have a childcare centre. We'll be doing our coffee and refreshments up on that balcony. This is our meeting room. And I've just this week been ordering some posters, some beautiful Ernest Holmes quotes from an artist in Miami, and they will be decorating the walls. So we'll be having our, church in a box. And this is our new music director, which was very important for us to find somebody so we could have live music. His name is Mike Anteres. And so he one good thing about this room is it had its own piano and its own movie screen. So we just knew that those were two important things. So that's where we are. And this is the view from our meeting room is the Opera House down the street. And we're 1 block from this view, which is the Harbour Bridge. And that's where the train station is, just a little bit to the right of that. So we found out that it was extremely important in Sydney to have access to mass transit so people could get to us, because parking and traffic, it's been a long time since I've lived in a city with 5.5 million people. And traffic and parking are, poor Rick has not even yet got in a car to drive. So very soon he's going to, because 6 months of being a chauffeur, I'm done. So he's just about, sorry? Yeah, he's enjoyed being chauffeured around. Sydney is a challenging city in many ways in terms of, but we love it because public transport only costs $2.50 a day for he and I, and unlimited. So we can go everywhere on the ferry and the buses and the trains, which we have been taking great advantage of. So we officially get underway on July the 8th, so about 3 weeks or 4 weeks from today. And so we would ask that you all hold us in your prayers and just know that all the right people are going to be in that beautiful room, and we're going to get going. We have some interesting programming. We're going to experiment for 6 months with actually having only 2 Sundays a month, but we're also going to do 2 Saturdays. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and on the Saturdays we're going to do some interesting programming like spiritual movies and popcorn, some discussion groups, some meditation times, and we've found that Sydney people are used to a Saturday as well as a Sunday. So, you know, it's a whole new world for us, so we're just going to learn as we go, and we'll adapt and change along the way. So I'm very grateful. I said to Rick the other day, the only 2 things in common with my life here is him, my husband, and my Starbucks coffee cup. And everything else is different. So it has been, to set up a new life, a new house, and a new center, I've discovered that my to-do list was almost impossibly long. And so we've really enjoyed having this time just to take a breath and relax a little bit, because I was like a whirling dervish. And when you're a whirling dervish, eventually you just hit a wall and you collapse. So, you know, I'm glad that we're sort of feeling strong again, and we're going to power forward come early July. So it is so good to be back. And so now that you've had a little taste of Sydney, I would just ask that you close your eyes, and let's go into prayer one more time. And just know that this is on this glorious, glorious, beautiful California day, that Spirit is indeed in the house, that it is the source of all. And how much I understand that it is the source. It is from this source, from this Spirit, flows everything that is good in life. All the love, all the joy, all the peace, and all the harmony. And so my focus stays on that source, minute by minute, moment by moment. For I know that I am an expression of that source, unique in every way. And as I express my creativity, my love, my joy, and spread my wings into Australia, I always know that God and Spirit is with me and with each person who is helping us. I know that Seaside and all the people in Seaside are like the wind beneath our wings, as it is with the whole of the Centers for Spiritual Living. So I know that each one of us here present today just feel the love and the joy as we celebrate new practitioners and new ministers. How much the world needs us to pour forth our love, our teaching, our understanding of how good is created. I know that as I shine my light, each person here has their own light, their own special, unique light to shine where there is pain and woundedness, hurt and upset. And as we shine our lights, great healing occurs. And we are needed in this world. So I'm grateful for this day, for my ability to stand here and be a testament to the power of the School of Leadership, for all that I've been given by my mentors. I'm grateful for this teaching that allows people to be able to reach for a minister, a practitioner, a teaching, an affirmation, a prayer. We have so much to be grateful for that gives us something to hang on to in times when we are in need of reminding how powerful and magnificent we are. And so I just release these words into the law, into the spirit, the mind of God, knowing that it is only ever saying yes, 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 and more yes to all the good there is, all the abundance, and all the harmony and peace that is possible in this world. And so I simply let go, let God, and say, and so it is. Amen.
Wow. Well, we definitely are so excited for this new venture for Reverend Robin. So awesome. And of course, Rick. Well, it is my honor to introduce our guest artist this morning. Contemporary inspirational artist and award-winning songwriter. Her music has appeared on 4 solo albums, numerous compilations, and television. Her last 2 albums have won 4 Positive Music Awards. She's here from Colorado to sing this morning and for today's minister's graduation. So today, please help me welcome this morning Denise Rosier.
Good morning. It's great to meet you. And we know that, wherever two or more are gathered, Spirit is in their midst, and Spirit is definitely in this place this morning. And if you're joining us online, you are with us too, so let's get ready to sing together.
Come together as a family.
Jesse.
And that is Denise in from Colorado Springs to be with us today. How fun. You were the graduate's choice to be our singer. So how fun. Thank you. All right, and Rebecca's back. Oh my goodness, you weren't at the first service because I was and you weren't. And here you are. Man, I love your priorities. Seaside. That's good. That's Seaside. That's good. All right, hey, we're having a lot of fun today. You can tell the energy is high, and this morning's message is, where do you focus? Now, the inspiration for this title came from one of Marianne Williamson's books, The Gift of Change, that I've been speaking about. And as you know, she's coming to Seaside. I think we're just about sold out, so pick up your ticket if you haven't got one yet. And it's very exciting. She's going to be standing right here. We're going to be this close and getting all that. But in her book, she talks about where it is that you focus, and she shares an analogy that we've heard different takes on it. But she said, imagine your life as a long movie, and you've had two directors. One director was into, the horror, the fear, the anxiety, those kind of things. And the other director is into love and joy and peace and abundance and ease and grace and those kinds of things. And now, she goes on to say that the ego mind, I like to call it small-mindedness, but the ego mind is that director that's into the horror and the pain and all those difficulties. And the other director is the Holy Spirit. It's the presence of God. It is that life force. It is that all-animating something from which we came. And you get to decide which director you're going to take your cue from, because you are the producer. Aha! Well, hello. Also, you're the star, too. But I just, the producer seems to have more behind it. But you are the star of your life, and you get to decide where it is you're going to take your direction from. In other spiritual vernaculars, it's like, what plants are you going to water in your life? You got that? What plants are you going to water, and what plants should you not be watering? The plants that are dead and done and no longer can come back to life, you got any like that around the house? Or your garden that you're still watering? It's like, I haven't seen you in a year, but the Bible talks about dead bones, dry bones. It's like they're called dead relationships, dead people, dead things from the past. They're gone. You got to stop watering them. You got to stop putting your focus on that, because we are in a season of becoming. We're in the spring. Have you noticed everything is springing? It's colorful. I'm walking through my garden, and I got plum trees that are plumbing, and I've got peach trees that are loaded. I have got the apricots apricotting. I mean, yesterday I picked an avocado the size of a softball, and I just want us to water those things that matter to you, that are alive, that have potential, and what it is that can still blossom in your life, and stop watering those things that don't. It's like trying to water the concrete to have your garden grow. Now that's dry bones for you. That's just not working. And so if your life, let's say, isn't working, and it feels like you've been buried, what you can do is choose to shift your focus from I've been buried to I've been planted. Hey, okay, kind of simple. That's what change in focus does. It allows you to it allows you to reassign a possibility to where there wasn't one. Assign possibility to your thinking and what is going on, because what matters is that which matters. That which matters in your life is that what matters. You got it. That which matters to you is that which matters is what tends to get your focus. Reassign, the positive focus. There's a possibility here. There was these runners in a marathon. There's three I want to tell you about. One of them was a woman who's an accomplished marathoner. She runs marathons often. Another one was a guy who ran the marathon the previous year and failed to finish. And the third one was a young guy who had just graduated from college, all 4 years, ran track and field, and he was in great shape. All three of them ran the marathon, and which one do you think won? No, you don't have to answer that. Of course, the guy who was in great shape. No, it's a trick question. So what? None of them took home the medal for the best time of the race. I'll just fill you in. But they were all winners because they had a focus that was not about having the best time and taking home the medals of the race. That woman, her dream or her focus was, I'm going to run this race, and I'm going to work out this year, eat better, have a better routine, and I'm going to take time off my last year's race. And she did. She was a winner. That guy who didn't finish last time, the previous to this race, what he did is he decided he was going to go out and get pledges and contribute them all to a charity. So he got a charity printed on his back, got pledges, and you bet he finished that race. So he was able to make that contribution. He was a winner. And the guy who recently graduated, he had never run a marathon before, but his focus was to run a marathon to see if he liked it. And he liked it. And he finished well, but he's going to finish better next time. And that's what happens when we begin to move our focus. And when we do our prayers, that's how you move your focus. Ernest Holmes talks about attuning yourself with a finer vibration. Attuning yourself with something higher. Ernest Holmes writes, declare that you are one with the infinite mind. That you cannot get away from the infinite mind. That no matter where you go, right there beside you, waiting to be applied, is all the power there is in the universe. So it doesn't matter where you go. Declare, man, I'm one with it, because that's the truth. As I declare, I put my focus there. I put my assignment there. I begin to realize that God and I are one, and there's some excitement there. There's some power. There's some juice. You ever know what that feels like? Yeah, God's moving through me. I even have people say, God is my co-pilot. God's my guy, and this is great news. And then you go into a bank and you try to get a loan and say, my cosigner is going to be my co-pilot. God, see how far that gets you. You know, but I know what it's like to have that spirit moving through you. There's life, there's energy. And I get it. You know, and I'm sure your weekly levitation group gets it, and your coven of creatives gets it. But all of a sudden, you get out there in the world and you seem to hit a different kind of reality. And all of a sudden, you begin to lose the focus that God is occupying the primary space in your consciousness. And it's if you are falling out of the sky because you are giving up your belief. You're falling on that concrete garden without a parachute, without a prayer, and without PowerPoint. It's going to be ugly. There is no prep going on there. But as you begin to recognize, you know what, I've got the juice. You know, Spirit and I are one. And I am starting to feel this something pulling in my soul. You know, I've got the hallelujah chorus in my bones. You know, there is this desire that is like a full moon pulling my soul, like a gravitation of the moon and the earth. And I'm beginning to say, you know what? I can step out there. I begin to look around and I see that I'm not alone. That, you know, what seems to be pretty common in our collective consciousness in our society this day used to be the fringe. You know, remember when IBM was like the standard, the mainframe? Then you had a guy by the name of Bill Gates. That was fringe. Don't you wish you were on his fringe in the beginning days? You know, invested there. You know, but you know, all of a sudden, you know, the new kind of operating system shows up. And then Steve Dobbs, yeah, he clicked, you know, point and click, point and click. It's like these guys were radical fringe kind of thinkers that are now mainstream. Dr. Christina would never think of not using her Mac and clicking, you know. She lives on that. Or, hey, there was a guy who really disrupted an industry. You know, he said, you know, I think we can deliver what it is you want to your front door overnight, you know. And a guy by the name, I don't know, Jeff Bezos, one of the richest guys around, you know, because he decided, you know what, mainstream delivery warehouse is not needing to be the way it has to be any longer. Zuckerberg, he kind of messed up the whole social media, AOL, you got mail kind of thing. So what I want us to get is you put your focus not on the fears. Got that? Not on it hasn't been done or the people are against it, but you know what? This is mine to do. This is what I want to bring to this world, and I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to find the chutzpah, the guts, the courage. I'm going to catch it with my focus. I'm going to attune myself with a new kind of thinking. I'm going to use that prayer and recognize that God is everywhere. And I'm going to water that which has value in my life, not the fears, the anxiety. That director has been stuck in his trailer. I'm going with the one that believes in possibilities here, that has a focus that is a match to my soul and my spirit. Rabindranath Tagore, you know the Indian mystic? It won a Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. He said that if you want to cross the sea, you have to do more than merely stare at the water. Right? If you want to cross the sea, you have to do more than merely stare at the water. Oh yeah, really? Like what? Well, you know, You get this idea. It excites your soul. You got the hallelujah chorus going. You know, people are thinking you're crazy. Then you know that's a good sign. And just because you don't have something nailed down doesn't mean you have any loose screws up there. It's just that you're listening to something that is more accurate than that which has gone before you. You're flying a new kind of path. You know, you're listening to the air traffic controller as opposed to having your face buried in a map on something that is paper. You're listening to something that is in your soul that says that you are able to go for that. And you know what? I've got some energy around it. You ever done something and you felt the fear? It's because you haven't done it before. It's not abnormal, guys. But where are you putting the focus? Putting the focus on, I don't know, look at all the things that could go wrong. Or are you putting the focus, are you watering that which is going to support the idea that's in your soul, that's in your spirit? It's, you know, those who are masterful manifestors, they feel the fear. But Susan Jeffers says, feel the fear and do it anyway. You know, they say, hey, fear, there you are. Oh, my goodness, yeah, I haven't been there. Of course you're showing up. You know what, you need to come for the ride with me. Or you can stay behind, but I acknowledge you, you're there, and you're not stopping me, because what I have going on inside of me is far greater than this. The masterful manifestors are not stopped by what comes up. And I got to assure you that one of the things about taking a risk, this part I really don't like, is that it doesn't always work. Yeah. Like, have you ever done an investment that didn't work? You know, they don't all work. You know, the keys come out farther ahead by the end than you were at the beginning. You win some, you lose some. You know, some people fall off the mountain. There are sometimes accidents that happen. Things happen. You know, it's a risk. I mean, that's what's in it, is that it's a risk. And you've got to be willing to take that risk. Remember when you were a child and you stepped out on the diving board to jump for the first time? Really? That long ago for you guys? Should I pick a different one, like going for your driver's license? I mean, the analogy's the same. I can go with driving license. Riding a bike. I probably could make it work. Okay, let's see. You're ready to ride a bike. And you've never ridden a bike before. And all of a sudden, your dad or your mom's holding you up on the seat. And the ground's looking a lot farther down there than where it had been. All of a sudden, you're not only as high as the seat off the ground, your eyes are higher, that much higher than the seat, and the ground is way down there, and it is hard. And all of a sudden, you're starting to think twice. And you look at your mom or your dad, and you say, you know what? Man, I just think I need to go to a psychologist to work through this fear here. You don't do that, do you? You go for it. You put your focus on, I'm going to ride down that block. And for me, my dad motivated me with a trip to Disneyland. I was like, you bet I was going to learn how to ride that day. You know, where is your focus going? Because what you have is the universe conspires to fulfill that focus, that feeling, that something that you have going on. And so you get to decide, where am I going to look here? Where am I going to put my focus and my energy in creating it in my life? Am I going to let go? Am I going to go for this? Am I going to listen to my soul that is stirring inside me that says, you're greater than this? Yeah. You're capable of not being held back by what has transpired heretofore in your life. And I'm going to begin to remember, you know, that which I am capable of doing. I'm not going to let anything stop me. I'm going to be a visionary. See, that's the thing. The visionaries are able to see possibilities that aren't here yet. That's what a visionary is. That is what faith is, a belief in that that has yet to manifest itself, but it's real to you, that believer. But somehow we get caught up in thinking, I got to get real here. The bank's not taking my cosigner. You know, I must be off with my thinking or something. And it's not that the visionaries or the big thinkers are don't deal with reality. The challenge with a lot of the creative individuals and visionaries is that they deal with reality, and for the majority of the ones, they allow it to stop them. There's a few that don't, and those are the ones we've been speaking about. But could you imagine the brilliance that we would have in this world, the genius that is innate in every one of us, if we allowed nothing to stop us, if that we have found something inside of me that says, you know what, I'm going to bring something new to the world. I believe in diversity. This is Pride Month, so celebrate those individuals that say, hey, I'm willing to stand as an expression of the wonderful colors of life and bring forth that which is different. I'm going to be willing to stand in my power and my self-expression and not give in to the pressures of the collective consciousness and the reality. There was a man who went to see a wonderful artist, Dante Gabriel Rossetti. This was 19th century painter, poet, writer. And this old man brought him some of his sketches and said, hey, Rossetti, what do you think? Any talent here? And he looked at it, just a couple of sketches. He just knew there was nothing here. I mean, yeah, and he was trying to be kind to the old guy. He said, there's nothing of value here. There isn't potential. It's not there. I'm sorry. The old man kind of shook his head and said, well, I thank you for your time. I know it's so valuable, but can I have you look at this other young artist before I go? And he said, sure. And he put the sketches before him. Rossetti looked at it, and just a couple, his eyes lit up. He said, this is brilliant. This young artist is a genius. He has got talent. Support this guy. He's going to go a long ways, help develop and bring it forth because this person has the potential of being a master. And Rossetti could see the old man's eyes kind of having some feeling and depth to it. He said, what is this, your son? And he put his head down and said, no. It was me 40 years ago. If only I'd heard your encouragement then. We've got to listen for that kind of encouragement. If you want to experience freedom, you cannot be bound by the naysayers or that negative director or the ego mind. You've got to go for what is in your soul and go big. And when you go big, it is not your ego. It is living your integrity because you have been entrusted with something big, glorious, and grand that our world hungers for. And by you not doing it, you're denying us all. You need to stand forth with who you are and with what it is you have got to bring to this world in your unique style, which is beautiful because God is everywhere, in everyone, through everything. And so what I got to declare is my oneness with that infinite mind and its unique expression as my life, and honor that and not need to make somebody else wrong, but find a freedom in that self-expression. And when I talk about freedom, I'm not talking about running off to a Caribbean island and not paying your mortgage anymore. No. I'm talking about in your freedom, it's finding a remembrance that old man could activate from 40 years prior. A remembrance of that kid that could walk on or ride on that bicycle and courageously not have to go get worked over in his brain to see if he could overcome his fear or her fear. I'm talking about forgiving yourself for having forgotten. And self-forgiveness is important. Marianne Williamson, from this particular chapter, she's all over forgiveness, saying, you know what, like any enlightenment work, it starts off intellectually. I need to forgive here, But it has to make that journey from the brain to your heart, to your soul. And it's not logical, to say, you know what, I'm going to see the innocence in this perpetrator. That's tough. That's tough stuff. But all that we're being asked to do in forgiveness is to see the divinity beyond the mistakes. See the truth of their being rather than those challenges that impacted them. Helping to know that you're not limited by this world. Because those who have been brilliant in what it is they have brought to humanity, those that have been willing to dance on the fringe and stand boldly with pride in who they are and what it is they have to share, are the ones who are able to make a difference. And when you're listening to your genius, it's not about you needing to make it in the world or to fit into the world. It's about you remaking the world. It's about you making a difference in the world. It's about you bringing your gift. It is about you doing that which hasn't been done yet by you or anybody else. If that is yours yours to do, but doing that and not allow the reality to set in and to shut you down so you're like all those other geniuses whose gifts were never bestowed upon us. It's where you put your focus. I don't know the story of Ricky Hunley. Young kid, grew up in the projects, had 6 brothers, 3 sisters, ton of foster kids moving through the house. His dad was around. His mom, he said, was superb. And the thing that mom taught them is it doesn't matter how poor you are, you still can afford to dream. And this kid dreamed of being a sports guy, an athlete. And he excelled at it. By the age of 16, he could crush a baseball further than anybody else in the district or around. He could throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and on the football field, he could tackle anything that moved anywhere and just wipe them out. The summer before his senior year, which I guess is the summer between junior and senior year, his buddy said, hey, let's get jobs. We don't have any money. We get some money in our pockets. We can take girls out on dates and get some new clothes, save money for a bike. And you can start saving, for that house you want to buy your mom. He said, great idea. But I got to tell Coach Javier, because my coach has been my mentor. He's been pushing me all the way. And he didn't look forward to it, and he kind of sucked it up. His mom told him to always be in integrity with who he is, so he went to the coach and told Coach his idea for the summer that he wasn't going to be able to work with the baseball or the football program. And his coach said, what? He said his coach got as mad at him as he thought he would get at him. And he came down on him and said, you're going to be able to work all your life. You only have so long to play. You need to maximize this opportunity and to follow your dreams. And he said, yeah, sir, but I'm going to be making, $3.25 an hour. And he said, and is selling your dream for $3.25 an hour worth it? Do you really think you can save the money for your mom's house? So he stuck with the coach. And that year, or the next year in their baseball season, the Pittsburgh Pirates offered him a $20,000 signing contract to come play rookie ball with their leagues. But he had already accepted a full scholarship to the University of Arizona to play football because he could get an education in the process. He went on to play so well at the University of Football. He was All-American 2 years in a row for linebacker, and he was drafted by the NFL in the first round, 7th choice overall to the Denver Broncos for millions of dollars in contract. And so I share that with you, is where are you going to put your focus? Where are you going to put your chutzpah? Where are you going to put your courage? What are you going to water in your life? Are you going to sell out for something for $3.25 now, or for something that is greater and grander in your life? Go big, guys. Teresa of Avila, St. Teresa, said that you pay God a great compliment when you ask for great things. You pay Spirit a great compliment when you go for great things. And of course, you're not asking anyone or anything, but you're accepting it. And you're allowing yourself to be used. You know the story of Richard Paul Evans? This was a number of years ago. Not that far. Remember the story of the Christmas box? That book? Huge hit? That was a while ago. Yeah. You want to hear the story anyway? Okay, I'll tell you. No, it's pretty good. There's a dad who wrote this cute little Christmas story about the Christmas box for his 2 girls. They liked it. He made copies for all the friends and families they read. They said, this is phenomenal. This is really good. So like any aspiring author, what you do is you send it out to publishers. And he got rejections from everyone. He's got 27 letters rejected, no good. No. So I'm going to self-publish it. And that's what I do. So, but I didn't do this. So you go to the Booksellers Association. We have done that. And you sit there and you kind of, pass your book out to the publishers, people walking around. And what Richard saw is that really the only action at the convention was at the end of the hall, where the celebrity authors would sit and sign books, and they'd bring in a new crew of celebrity authors, and people come up and get their books signed. And he's watching, he's thinking about that, and when the next crew of celebrity authors came in, there was one that didn't show up. So, he grabbed a couple books, kind of went in there and set it down. And one of the women who was working there went up to the stage to tell him, excuse me, but you don't belong, you're going to have to go. And as she got up to him, he looked up to her and said, sorry, I'm late. And she didn't know what to do, so he said, may I bring you some water, sir? Well, that book then went on to sell millions of copies, became a #1 New York bestseller, and next year he was the feature speaker for the Book Sellers Association. He then went on to sell over 10 million of these books. Simon & Schuster signed him for over $4 million. CBS went on to make a movie of this book, and now he has more than 30 million books in print in 24 different languages, all because he had the chutzpah, the courage, and the guts to stay focused on where he was going and didn't allow that bike or that diving board or any of the fears that are natural that come up to us when we're stepping into a place we haven't stepped before. That is what is possible when we remain focused, when we include God in this power that moves through us and recognize that we're listening to something new. You know, we didn't come here to do it how it's been done before. We didn't come here to do it by the old operating system of the mainframe. We have come here with a new gift. We have come here to water what it is we are focusing on. We have come here because we're listening to a new vibration, a new frequency. We're listening to the yearning of the collective soul for the gift that you have singing hallelujah in your veins, in your bones. There is something alive that wants to come forward. And so you are here not to do it how it has been done, because you have come here to heal this world. You have come here to transform. You have come here to create. You are an entrepreneur that is bringing something new that we hunger for. You are here to do things in your own unique, diverse kind of way, and God bless you for it. I love you. That's what we're doing. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Denise back to our stage.
As we get ready to go forward into our week, let's just remember that you and God, you guys are like this. And nothing can ever separate you from the goodness of God. God supports you. God loves you. You are the beloved one of God.
Here I am, use me now, do your will, speak your word, touch the weak, heal the world. I am love, I am love, all along. I have known I'm the branch, you're the tree. There's no want, there's no need. Intertwined, heart and soul aligned. I know you by name, beloved. Nothing will ever come between
You're the lover of my soul, Holy One. How you fill my every thought. Everything in me is you. Everything in me is truth, beloved one. Nothing will ever come between us. Everything in me is you. Everything is true, beloved one.
That is Denise. Woo. That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is like the perfect song for today. Thank you. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in the givingness, in the sharing of our offerings, sharing of our love, that expression that comes from our heart. And know that as you give, it comes back. It's not why you give, it's just how it works when there aren't strings attached. You've got these expectations. No, you're supporting Spirit's work in a spot where it shows up to remind you of who you are in the presence and your oneness with the divine. And as you support Spirit's work, what you'll find is Spirit supporting its work is you. And you don't have to ask. There's an intelligence that guides the universe. That's the same wisdom that knows how to show up at supporting you, your life, and your work, because it's all Spirit. And so as you find a spot that reminds you of the divine and Spirit in your life, and you support that first, what you'll find happening first in your life is the Spirit support showing up, and the good and the blessings of the health and all the things are added to that. So I invite you to listen to your heart and just say thank you and allow that overflow feeling of the heart to contribute in this moment. And so with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward as we choose to be the activity that God is having as our abundant expression. It's an extension of the God consciousness through our life. And so I want to thank our ushers and our greeters. I want to thank those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated, as well as those that practice the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into supporting Spirit's work at Seaside. That regularity is extremely valuable, particularly as we go into the summer months, because those invoices come in on a regular basis, called mortgage and electric and all those things. So that regularity is good. And you guys at home, oh my goodness, thank you very much. Every week we are receiving gifts from our wonderful online community. Your gifts and your words and your prayer requests mean a lot. It knows the work we're doing makes a difference, and your contributions assist us to keep it getting out into the world. So with that said, I want to say a prayer of gratitude for the most generous of spiritual communities as we come together at this time in the heart and the soul and the spirit, and we can feel that divine reverberating through our being. There is a sense that just eradicates any sense of constriction or shackles or limitation. All of a sudden the fears dissolve, and what remains is a deep sense of peace and security, for I'm living and moving and having my being in that infinite abundance of the divine, and I become that conduit and that channel through which that affluent flow moves into expression, and it feels good to be refreshed, resourced, reanimated by the wonderful, inexhaustible wellspring of that God wealth pouring into expression in this world of form. So I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for using me in this moment and blessing my life so I can be an abundant expression of Spirit. And so it is. Amen. Together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the flow of my... Yeah, that's it. Welcome back. Seaside Band is rocking the house every Sunday morning right here. And so as I stand before this bounty, this overflowing expression of abundance, it has been given in love, it is received in love, it is handled in good stewardship, and is put forth back out into the flow in life, bringing the good and the joy and the blessings that brought each and every one of us to all those that are recipient of its wonderful stream of good. I say thank you, Father, Mother God, for this opportunity to know that life has been blessed and to be able to share that blessings with humanity, helping to lift this ever-consciousness higher, knowing that Seaside continues to be a growing, thriving spiritual community that is making a difference in the world. It feels good to be able to be an integral part of that support. So thank you, Father, Mother God, for this moment. So it is. Amen. Hey, this is Tina Lazazo. She is your board secretary, and thank you for all the good and blessings and joyous recordings that you leave for posterity's sake. Anyway, speaking of joy, oh my goodness, Denise, welcome to Seaside. Sorry you just moved away to Colorado. That is, but welcome, wonderful. And I know you are first choice, the graduate singing today. So if you want more, 4 o'clock right here, graduation for Denise. And Rebecca, we're so grateful to have you home. My goodness, we love your zest, your spirit, your look, your dance, the song, the voice, the spirit. We're just family. So thank you for being a big part of that. And speaking of family, the Reverend Robin Holt is on the other side of the planet, Australia. And your website is going live tomorrow. That's right. Hopefully you got a donate button on there. For U.S. and Australia. Ah, value. Well, you guys know that Seaside every month supports our sister center over there in a financial way. So just know we are behind you in prayer as well as finances. And we just love what you're doing. We're excited. You want to go visit Australia sometime? There you go. Okay, now we got a place. Let's go. That's it. Matthew, thank you for sound today. Marv, thank you for the visuals. And the wonderful Crawford recording crew, thank you for sharing this with the world. And hey, a lot's going on at Seaside. Did you see the Life Connection? I tried to give this to you when you came in. Did you see who's on the cover of this magazine? Marianne Williamson, who is coming to Seaside. So make sure you pick up, if you didn't get one of the Life Connections. Also in your program, we gave you a couple Marianne Williamson flyers. Put them around town. We still got 100 tickets left to sell, but we sold 500-600 tickets already. So it's going to be a full house, but plaster this in a restaurant somewhere and get the word out and help us finish that. Also, I see the flyers. Rebecca, next week, you know you're singing? No. That's what happens when you go away. Well, next Sunday, Rebecca, you are singing. Yeah. You knew that. Oh, yeah, you're right, you did. You were gone. Anyway, Kat created this, and you weren't here. So anyway, Gary Lynn Floyd is going to be here singing, and it's our summer kickoff concert. And to top it all off, we're giving you a free lunch. Where can you go for a free lunch? And a free concert because you weren't around. So we're giving it away. And also, it's a gift to you, Tasha, from Gourmets for God, right? Gourmets for God is throwing your party next week as an example of what you can do. Next week, the bidding starts for Gourmets for God. This was kind of like a bye week, but you're here, so if anybody wants to sign up for a host, they can come see you. So know that next Sunday, Gourmets for God is throwing you a summer concert party, free food, free concert, and you too could do something. So anyway, lots going on. Tomorrow night, the women are getting together for the deep sound meditation, and the women only. So guys, we're not allowed. It's like, it's my wife. I can't say she can't do that. No, it's good. It's the 6th year that it's been a women's only for the first Monday in June, and it's powerful. All the chairs moved out, the blankets are on the ground, bring a blanket, a mat, and the bowls and the gongs for an hour. It's just an ethereal experience. You'll be out of your body, so it's pretty incredible. So take a look at the program. Lots going on. I'm missing, like open mic is starting on Wednesday nights in a couple weeks. Tonight, Thursday night, Rick Doerr's show with Jay Leno is on 9 o'clock, MSNBC. Do anybody want to say something? I'm doing all the talking, and people want to leave. But anybody, you want to share? Yeah.
We did some spongy animals.
Well, you did. Nice. Anybody else want to share? You want to say something?
It's their first time.
Really? What's your name? Yeah. And your are you sisters? Yeah. And what's your name? Beautiful names. Wow. Oh, really? Wow, how fun. Uh-huh. Wow, a seahorse. I like that. Do you know in the fall we're going to do a whole Sunday on seahorses? So you want to stick around. Anyway, hey, let's say our affirmation for our children. And that is, we see you, we love you, we support you in your magnificence. And yeah, give them some love. So let's pray. And I want to invite any of our religious science practitioners, any of our ministers to just stand with me so we can feel this upliftment in that consciousness. We can feel the tide rising. For truly there is something profound going on here this morning in this moment. It's music, it's word, but it is spirit touching down. Feel that, recognize that. Know that that infinite intelligence that created all things is that wisdom that is filling your awareness, creating those new brain highways, those new connectors of consciousness that allows you to know that you are not bound by this world of form, but rather that which is the life that moves through all things moves through you right now in those ways that are just perfect and right. For that which breathed you into existence is still here. Feel it, sense it, know that in the beginning was God. What is that? It's life, it's intelligence, it's joy, it's wisdom, it's caring, it's compassion. In the beginning was this, that which this is, I am. Feel your oneness, as Ernest talked about. There's nowhere you can go that you are not one with Spirit. You may create experiences, but the truth of being is Spirit is right there waiting to be touched by you, to be called on, to be paid that great compliment. For you have a focus that is aware of something that is greater than what you are experiencing right now, and that divine presence touches down in your life in ways that are just divinely orchestrated. And know right now if there's a physical challenge going on, if there's something that is impeding or impacting your life, your body, your world of form that looks like constriction, challenge, dis-ease, lack of comfort, know that it is what's going on. It is the human experience. It is going on in the physical form. But that which God is far greater than what is in form. For it is in and through all things, and everything gives to the emergence of the greater yet to be. And so feel that emergence of that awareness, of that life force, of that energy, of that power just coming through your being, and your body begins to resonate to a new frequency. There is a new vision that begins to be that full moon pull of your soul. There's something that knows that it is capable to do whatever it chooses to do, that I do not need to look over to somewhere else for help, but I find that something inside of me that is greater than the fear and the challenge and the anxiety that comes from stepping into new territory. And so what I know right now is this body of ours is that perfect vehicle. It is the body of God, and every cell, every tissue, every organ, every fiber of its being resonates to its divine blueprint of wholeness. And once again, there is that restoration of that energy flow, that free circulation of that divine presence that is free to eradicate that which does not belong, not because I need to tell it. It guides the universe. It knows what to do. I get myself out of the way, and I become that conduit of that God expression. I follow my passion, my dharma, my charge. I begin to put that focus, that energy. I attune, I assign the right positive approach to that which is going on in my world, recognizing that the God expression is expressing as my very life. And I begin to live with that new frequency. I live with a sense of joy, with a skip in my step, with a refreshed passion for that for which I have come to do, to live my dharma, to bring forth my divine, diverse expression of being. And know that it is right. It is not validated from the outside world, but there is a resonance inside my being that knows that what I am doing is right. Being who I am, unapologetic, but able to express myself with the joy and assurance, and I bring that to my relationships. All of my relationships begin to get the full, honest, integrous expression of myself. I begin to live in that big, bold way, not because it is ego, but because it is integrity to that which is stirring in my soul. And those that can match that energy begin to move with that divine frequency. And those that do not fall away, when I know my self-worth, I am no longer those that do not recognize that worth. I cannot any longer be pulled down by anyone who is below me, but rather I am lifted high on the divine tide of divine expression and emanation. And with that comes relationships that are magical and mystical and divinely created. They are juicy and passionate and alive and intimate and honest. And together in relationship, whether it is a personal or family or business or friendship, it is an opportunity to to express Spirit. And in this self-expression, I find myself, I'm in the flow. The wonderful flow, the God flow, the divine flow. I begin to focus the way it is flowing in my life to create greater good, or I can create limitation, but there is a flow, there is an abundance, there is a wonderful reciprocating kind of energy of the divine presence. There is this fluent flow of life that is just supporting the dreams and the vision as I begin to raise my sight ever higher and move up that mountain and look out from the mountaintop. I'm able to see grand and great possibilities and know that everything that is necessary to support that which I'm putting my focus on, and I'm saying yes, is there, manifesting now, and I'm able to get up and cross that sea because I'm no longer just merely staring at it. I am approaching, and I'm sailing to that for which I have been called. I am grateful. I'm grateful that this community, the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, is a growing, thriving spiritual community that is a success because its members are using these spiritual principles, that there is a movement to a greater conscious connection with the infinite source. And in this wonderful spiritual offering, there is healing that is going on. Every prayer request in our prayer request chest is answered now for our dear Debbie Dobbins, who had surgery on Friday and didn't know what it was going to be going in. It is coming out, and it is wonderful rave reviews of a healthy, healing body, that she is on that track of perfect healing with comfort and swiftness and perfection. I know right now that today's graduation here at the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living is a wonderful confirmation for the good that's going on within our movement. Every one of these graduates that walk this aisle in their cap and gown have earned that position, and their lives are enriched by their yes, and our world is enriched by their yes. And today is we're able to witness that wonderful something that took place in their heart and soul as a call sometime to go, manifesting in the culmination and the commencement of something new that is beginning in their lives. So grateful to know that it is a positive moment in time and space in this world, in this nation in which we live. It is a month where there is excitement and joy that is happening. There is a greater awakening for humanity that is going on, and it's happening right here in this moment and where we stand. So I say thank you for the words we have shared. They're the truth. They're the manifesting. They're happening, and I let go because I don't need to make it happen. It's not my will, but thy will that unfolds in this moment. So with gratitude and appreciation, I let go, knowing it is so, and so it is.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was but now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. Come on. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm
I see the infinite potential in all things. Together. I see the infinite potential in all things. Touch your heart and say it again. I see the infinite potential in all things. One more time like you really mean it. Come on. I see the infinite potential in all things. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe. Through joys and through fears, in this world I walk. God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. 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 Happy Sunday, Seaside. Come back for graduation this afternoon.